All right, hello once again. This is Jeff Scott of Rankin Technical College, and I'm giving you a series of lectures that are part of the Rankin Technical College Summer Academic Academy website design series. And if you were to go out to this YouTube address that's right here, what you'd find are 24 videos that I've created for the Summer Academy website design. I started by going over an introduction. Then I've got 7 lectures on the standard website that we're going to create, followed by 14 lectures, that are on Bootstrap, and then 2 lectures on MobiRise. Now, one of my colleagues, Mr. Brad Lutes, was good enough to actually create this build a basic HTML and CSS3 website. I added the annotations so he would get credit because he should. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through this. This is a 20-page handout which I'm going to give in class, or I plan on giving out to the class at the end of the first class period. All right? And hopefully we can build our website in the morning and then work on this in the afternoon. So I'm going to follow the directions in here. It is 20 pages long and there are 26 steps. So I'm just going to, like I said, just follow exactly what he's got. So step 1, create a folder on the desktop called My Website. All right, now when I say what I'm about to say, so new folder, I don't like to put blank spaces in, so I'm going to call it My Website, and I'm going to run it all together. All right, so there's my folder right there, My Website. See it. All right, so there's step 1. Again, I'm just going to go down. Inside of your My Website folder, create 3 more folders and name them CSS, Images, and JS. Your Images folder will contain all your images for the website. The CSS folder will contain all the style sheets for the website. And the JS folder will contain any JavaScript or jQuery for the website. Okay, so let's make these 3 folders. So the first folder will be called Images. The next one, the order in which we create these, of course, is totally irrelevant, is CSS. And the last folder will be called JS. All right, so right now I've got a folder called My Website, which has 3 empty folders in it, CSS, Images, and JS. All right, so that's steps 1 and 2. All right, so the author says in your text editor, and he's using brackets, create a new document. Okay, so let's start up brackets, and I think I've got brackets on here. There's brackets. So I'm going to start up a new document on here. I don't really need this new version, that's fine. So I'm going to say File, New. All right. And I'm going to start putting it in here. So under Working Files, what I want is I want to open a folder here, and I want it to be my desktop and my website folder. All right, that's good. That's what I want. So again, that's open now, so I'm going to do a File, New, and I'm immediately going to save this file. So I'm going to do a File, Save As, and notice it's to my website. You can either call it index.htm, as Brad said, or I like to put the L on there. So there it is. All right, so that's step 3. In step 4, so notice now what we have in here is we have 3 folders that are all empty and our index.html file. All right. In that file, the first thing we're going to put in is what's called our doc type statement. This lets the browser know, as mentioned in step 4, which version of HTML we are using. This word is case insensitive. You'll oftentimes see it like this as well. It really and truly does not matter. Let's just leave it because I've got it in there like that. So, next. HTML is a tag-centered language, so we need to put in our beginning tag. Now we're telling it that we're using the English language, and notice it put in our ending tag for us. So everything that you do inside of an HTML document has to be inside of beginning and ending HTML tags, as you see right here. All right. So next, we want to put in what are called our head tags. That is all the information that's in the head tag will give additional information about the page, but this stuff will not display directly on the page. The first thing we're going to add is a meta tag. Meta means data about data. And we're telling it the character set that we're going to use is UTF-8, which means that we're using the Unicode character set. That's step 7. We're also going to give it a title in here for the rest of step 7. It's on the next page here. And we're going to say title. And Brad has us put in the title here of Brad's website. We'll change it to, or Brad's projects, we'll change it to Jeff's projects. You can call yours your name followed by projects. All right. Now, if we run this, so let's do a file and let's save. We can run this in different ways. The fastest way is to hit the lightning bolt up here, which is our live preview mode. And the only thing we should see when we run this is up here, it says Jeff's project. That's it. And that's fine. So we've started to create our HTML file. Okay, we've started to create our HTML file. All right. Now let's create another file in here. So let's do another file, new, and we're going to immediately save this again. So file, and we're going to do a save as. This one we want to save into our CSS folder, and we want to call it style.css. Sometimes when you save a file and you don't put it in double quotes as I've done here, what the system will automatically do then is the system will put .txt on the end. But if you save it in double quotes like I did, right there. So if you do that, it'll always save correctly. So saving it. Okay, so now I can see that inside of here is my style file. All right, that's step 9. Then in step 10, we are to go back to our HTML file and provide in our head section what's called a link to this file. So link type equals text/CSS, which lets the system know what's called the MIME type of the file. Now you don't have to, but I'm hitting enter here. And I'm going to say rel equals, notice we get some help. All right, so that's the style sheet. And href equals, well, we want from CSS our style file. Okay? So that is allowing us to link up or bring in whatever we put in our style sheets file. Okay, let's go in and make the change that Brad suggests in that file. So we'll say that we want the body of our document to have a background color of beige. And I think if we put dash color in here, it'll show us the colors. See that? And I'll choose beige, as he did. Now, if we go in and run our program again, so let's go back to here, and we bring this up again. Let's do a file save all. Always be saving. We click Live Preview. Now their background color should be beige if we did this correctly. Doesn't appear to have run, so let's try it again. Now it might be kind of hard to even tell that it changed color. So again, I'm not, believe me, I appreciate all the work Brad has done with this. But I'm going to come in here and let's change the background color instead of beige. Let's change it to green. All right? And then let's run this again. I want to see if it comes out green when we do the live preview. See, it's much easier to see with a different color like that. Okay, good. All right, we're making a lot of progress here. So let's jump back. So we started with this with nothing in it except our Jeff's project, and then we added this to it. Okay? All right. So jumping back into our HTML file, after our head tag comes what are called our body tag. Now the body tag does contain the information that appears on the web page itself. All right. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to come in here and we're going to create what's called a div tag. Div is short for the word division. All right, so I'm going to put in here a div tag, and we want to give that an ID of wrapper. And at the end here, we're going to actually also add, a comment that says, I don't know why I did that. End wrapper. Okay? Now, they mentioned next I'm on step 15. Okay, so I'm on step 15, and after this I'm going to stop and start again in a new lecture. But it says now we're supposed to go to the style.css page and add some additional styling to the body. All right, so let's first do a file, and we'll do a save all, and then we're jumping back to our style page. All right. First thing we want to do, we don't need to keep this green anymore. Let's call this light blue. I like that. All right, that's pretty easy to see. And we want margin to be set to 0, and we want padding to be set to 0. What does that do? Well, the first thing I want to show you here is if you remember, this is how this looked before. All right? And it's not really going to look any different. At least I don't think it is. All right, but we're going to check. So let's do another file, save all, and let's go back and run this again in live preview. All right, there's our light blue. All right, so now we have to start setting up some stuff for our wrapper. That's going to be the area in which we're going to put our page information. Since it's an ID, we put a pound sign there, followed by the name, which is wrapper, and everything in curly braces here. The width will be 900 pixels. Now, as soon as we do this, and we go back to live preview, so I'm going to save. You don't have to do this after every time we change it, but I want to show you the width of this is now going to be changed. All right? It's 900 pixels. You can't really tell, but it has been changed. All right, I'm going to get rid of all these old ones here. All right, and we're going to go back and keep adding to our style sheet. So we want the minimum height. We want that to be 800 pixels. We want our margin to be 0 auto, which says center this on the page. Our background to be white, which is pound F, 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 F. border radius, so we're going to put a little curvature on here, and you'll see this in a minute, to be 10 pixels all the way around. And we'll put minus Moz minus border radius, and again to 10 pixels. We need a semicolon there. All right. And then, whoops, I don't know what happened there, but that's okay. And then a minus WebKit minus border minus radius, again to 10 pixels. We'll go over all of this stuff in class, but that says Mozilla, this says for Firefox, and WebKit, this says for Safari and Chrome. All right. Border, 1 pixel, solid, and this will be black, so pound 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. And if there's any overflow, we want it to be hidden. Now we haven't added any content yet, so this probably isn't going to look tons different. But let's run this, go back to our index page and run it and see if in live preview if it does look any different. Why my live preview isn't really working very well, but there it is. That's what we've created right now. All right. Now there are about 10 steps left, and I'm at 17 minutes. So this is a good stopping point. I'm going to stop right here and call this part 1, and then go back in and do the same thing for part 2. All right. Now, I haven't gone and grabbed it yet, but Brad has also been good enough that he's done a practice exercise for Bootstrap. So I will do that one, and I will have that one done hopefully by the time you are sitting in the classroom for this class. So I'll be back with part 2 in a couple minutes.